Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Today we are talking about email marketing. Is it dead? Is there any point in doing email marketing anymore? Of course, it's not dead. Of course, there's lots of reasons to do email marketing, and I am going to give you seven of the my top reasons for email marketing. The very top of the list is staying top of mind. That is the biggest benefit that I have gotten from my email marketing. How many times do you meet someone at a networking event, or you reach out to them maybe on the phone or via email or LinkedIn or whatever your favorite channel is, or their favorite channel is, right? Yeah, they're interested, but they're not ready yet. They'll let you know when they're ready, right? Okay, so you wait. Maybe you reach out in a few months. That means you got to put it on your calendar or in your CRM to remind you to reach out to them. And then they're kind of trying to remember what that conversation was about, what they were talking about, and who you are, and what now. It is so much easier to send them an email every week, every month. I used to send my newsletter out every week. I have since pulled back to every other week. Still regular enough, frequent enough to let people know, hey, remember me? Hey, remember what I do? It is the easiest way, especially if you just ask. Obviously, you should never ever put people in your email list without their permission. You can get blacklisted if you do that enough times, if enough people mark you as spam and enough people say, no, I never signed up for this. Please unsubscribe me. That's the servers like MailChimp and Constant Contact will sit up and take notice. Google will take notice if it's through their Gmail or whatever their email server will be. They will start filtering you out as spam. So do not add them without their permission. But if they do say, yeah, I am interested, yes, please send me updates, then actually send them updates. Make sure that you send not quarterly. Quarterly is not frequently enough. If they get it quarterly, they will forget who you are and why they are getting this email. At least once a month, preferably twice a month, is a good amount of time so that you, again, remind them that you exist, who you are, what you do, why they should care. That has been the absolute biggest benefit to me of my newsletter is just staying top of mind. And I know that I have gotten people reaching out to me months, sometimes even years after we met at a networking event or they attended one of my webinars or at a speaking event of mine. And then they signed up for my newsletter. And then when they're ready to buy, they reach out to me because they saw my emails in their inbox and again, it used to be every week. Now it's every other week. Educating your audience is the second biggest one. So you don't have to overthink your newsletter. My newsletter gets a pretty decent open rate. It's not great, but it is higher than average. And it is largely just, hey, here's my blog post for the week. Here's my video for the week. Here's, some other tidbits that I see out in the world of content marketing and SEO that you might be interested in. I don't spend a lot of time writing entirely new content for my newsletter. It is just, hey, here's what's going on. And it's great, again, because it doesn't take up a lot of time. But at the same time, it does provide value to them because I'm not counting on them to remember, oh, I have a blog. Oh, that's right. Allison publishes a new blog post at 7 a.m. every other Tuesday, right? Like, who's going to remember that? I can barely remember. I need my calendar to help me remember that, right? So don't count on them to go searching out your blog posts and your YouTube videos and what you're talking about now. Actively send it to them, actively remind them, hey, I have a new blog post. Hey, I was on a podcast recently. Hey, I have this other thing going. I just published it, but whatever it is you have going on, let them know. That's why they signed up for your newsletter. The other benefit of that, this is still under the second benefit of having a newsletter, is educating your audience. So by putting all that content out there, sending it to them in the newsletter, sending those blog posts and the podcast interviews and the videos that you are creating, all of that should educate them on who you are, what you do, the value that you provide. I had someone, again, I think we met at a networking event and then they attended a webinar of mine. And then they ended up on my newsletter for months before they ended up hiring me. And first of all, she reached out to me. I didn't have to reach out to her. She came to me ready to buy, ready to hire me because of what she had been reading in my newsletter and on my blog. Not only that, she upsold herself in the process of the call because of something she read on my blog. She was telling me, yeah, I know you said such and such, so this is why I need this package rather than this other package. And I was like, oh, she is directly quoting my blog post back at me. Awesome. That means A, she's reading it and it's having value and it's making my life so much easier in the sales process because now I don't have to try and explain why she needs this package or try and figure out what she needs and then try and sell her on it. She was already sold because my content sold her on my services and what I do. Easiest sale I've ever made. Customizable content. This is one of the huge benefits of email marketing. It is one of the few places where you can send out a segmented list. So for example, let's say I have someone who's interested in my blogging services. I can send them all of the content that I have about blogging tips and blogging resources and things they should do about blogging. If maybe they're not as interested in SEO, maybe they're not as interested in my email marketing services or my funnel building services. That's fine. I don't have to send them that information. I can only send them the information relevant to the topic they already expressed interest in. People are up to 20% more likely to open these emails when it is that relevant and that customized and that personalized. So segment your audience, super beneficial for your bottom line. The fourth benefit is they have to opt in. This is something that drives me crazy when people say they don't want to bother their audience with too many emails. I mean, obviously, don't be that brand that emails people every day. Certainly don't email them multiple times a day. Yes, we all delete those emails. Don't. As long as you're not that person, you're not going to bother them because the way these emails, these newsletters are set up is they have to opt in. They have to raise their hand and say, yes, please send me updates. Yes, please let me know what's going on with you every week, every month, however often it is. They're saying they want content from you. So give them content, give them the updates, tell them what's going on with you. This is someone who, like I said, they're already raising their hand. They're already saying, I'm interested. Tell me more. There is immense value in that compared to meeting someone at a networking event or a cocktail party or trying to cold call someone and again, explain who you are, what you do, why they should care. This is someone who already cares. They're already saying, yeah, I'm interested. I'm not ready to buy yet, but I'm interested. Please send me more information. Send them more information. Cost effective. MailChimp has a free option if you don't segment your audience. And if you have less than 500 people in your audience and you send a certain amount of emails per month. So there's a free option. And if you add more people to your list, if you want to do the segmenting and certain other some of the cool tools that you can do, like sending at certain times to certain people, that's something that you can do. So it doesn't all go out at once. It gets kind of staggered based on where they are and when they're most likely to open it. That's super valuable. That costs a little bit. I think it starts at $13, $20 a month, something like that, and goes up to $350 a month, I think. But again, the $350 a month is like, well, you have 10,000 emails and you have this huge email marketing business, right? So hopefully if you're spending that much, you're getting something back for it. So compare that to trying to print out 500 pages and get 500 envelopes and pay for 500 stamps and send all this out, right? That's going to cost you some money. Whereas with MailChimp or Constant Contact or whatever you want to use, it costs you nothing. There is also, again, depending on the tools that you use, there can be a lot of integration, especially with, I think HubSpot has this where they have some integration with the CRM and the emails and what's going on your website. So you get all of this information all in one place. Which leads me to the next benefit, number 6. You can see the efficacy of your content in real time. I'm a data person. I cannot believe I'm saying this because growing up, I was always the word person and I was like allergic to numbers. But now I love the numbers because now I recognize that the numbers tell a story. So yes, I want to know what people are doing with my newsletter or not doing with my newsletter, as the case may be. So my example of, digging into the data and using it to my advantage is the fact that I started by sending out my emails at like 7 or 7:30 a.m. on Tuesday, because that's when one of my competitors was sending her emails. I dug into the data and realized most people weren't opening my newsletter until Wednesday morning, about an hour later, closer to 8:30 in the morning. So guess when I send my newsletters out now? 8:30 in the morning on Wednesdays. My open rate went up significantly once I started doing that because I saw when my people were ready for my newsletter, when are they engaging with it? Send it to them then. Send it when they're ready. It makes all the difference. So dig into your data. Don't be afraid to actually look at those numbers and use it to your advantage and adjust accordingly. Again, compare that to direct mail where, I mean, at best, someone reaches out to you and says, yes, I'm interested. You have no idea if the rest of those people even looked at the mail you gave them, much less did anything with it, right? How many of those went straight into the trash? How many of them are up on the fridge but not doing anything? How many of them, maybe sat on the mail table for a while before ending up in the trash? You have no idea. So by contrast, having all that data at your fingertips when you're email marketing is invaluable. Last but not least, promoting your content, right? Like I said, mine tends to be here's my podcast, here's my video, here's my blog post, all in my newsletter. Easy peasy. Takes me, all of 20 minutes to put that together. Quick and easy. And it provides value for your content because it's driving traffic to that content. Google takes notice of that. When Google sees this new piece of content, it might have all the right keywords and it's all in all the right places and it's covering everything there's to cover and it's formatted to make Google happy and no one is looking at it. Google will go, oh, well, it must not be very valuable. By contrast, Google goes, oh, there's this piece of content over here. We haven't scanned it yet, but it's getting some traffic and there are some people looking at. We should check out this content because apparently there's value here because people are looking at it. Now Google's going to sit up and pay attention. So you can kind of give yourself that SEO boost by promoting it. And again, your newsletter, use social media. I'm not saying don't use social media. Absolutely do use social media for that. That is super beneficial. But don't rely on social media exclusively because again, your newsletter is your built-in audience. Who knows how checked in or checked out your social media audience might be? I know I have a lot of connections on LinkedIn, for example, and a fraction of them actually see my posts. And there's a variety of algorithm reasons for that, right? The newsletter isn't really affected by the algorithm, again, unless you do something wrong and you end up in spam. So try not to do that. But for the most part, like I said, it's people who raised their hand and said, yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want this. Please send me this information. They are much more likely to click through and actually go to your website and visit that piece of content, which again makes Google sit up and take notice, which will then boost your search rankings. So it all kind of builds off of each other. So that is it. Those are all of my tips for you today, all about how the 7 benefits of email marketing as they stand today. There are more benefits. Those are my top 7, though. If you have any questions, if you need help creating a drip campaign, if you need help creating your newsletter, if you need help creating a strategy around your email marketing, happy to help with all of that. Please feel free to reach out. You can reach me at my website, AV, as in my initials, Allison Verhalen. That is avwritingservices.com. And there is a link to the blog post in the video description. So you can click on that. And you can reach me directly at info@avwritingservices.com. That's it. Have a great weekend. Happy blogging, everyone.